Hey everyone, it's Rebecca the dietitian coming at you with a question that I got from one of you. So thank you so much, Norm, for asking this question. It's such a great question. He is struggling with salty snacks. Those of you who know me well know that I too have struggled with salty snack problems, and I actually have decided that, and I'm going to be honest here and just a little bit vulnerable. I would call myself a food addict, specifically when it comes to salty snacks, and almost only when it comes to salty snacks. I believe that there's varying levels of food addiction and that it's a real thing because I've experienced it. So, I work at a hospital, I work with addicts, I work with alcoholics and drug addicts, and when I think about my relationship with chips, it is very similar. So when I got them, I would kind of feel like maybe you shouldn't get these, and then I would get them and promise myself that I would only eat a few or a little bit, a small amount of them, and kind of knowing in my head that that was a lie. But I would, convince myself maybe this time, even if I got individual bags, I'll be able to control this. It's individual bags. I'll eat one or, at a time, and then not eat any till the next day. And that was a lie. So what would happen every time was I would get home with the chips, and if I didn't eat them in the car on the way home, I would eat them pretty soon afterwards. As soon as the bag was opened, it was over. So I would eat at least half the bag, no matter what size the bag was. And this is just real for me. So I did this for years, and I berated myself afterwards. Oh my gosh, I have no willpower. I suck. I'm the worst. Can't believe I did that again. I'm never doing that again. I feel so sick from it. I feel ginormous. I can't believe I did that. Just all that. And being mean to myself about it. And then I would, the next day, be at work maybe, and I'd be thinking about going to the store because I would have thrown them away. So I would be like, wow, I could go to the store after work and get chips and do it again, which is bonkers, people. This is an unhealthy relationship. So I share this because maybe some of you can relate to having a food or a food group where you feel like this, and you might be berating yourself and being mad at yourself and kind of doing what I was doing, which was unsuccessful for years. So I have since learned about food addiction, and just kind of like an alcoholic has to think of alcohol, like they think they can moderate it, but over and over they fail, and things go poorly, and then they feel terrible about themselves. And similar to that was me with chips. It was an unhealthy relationship. I had to realize it made me unhappy over and over again. So I finally learned enough about food addiction that I actually considered maybe, just maybe, I needed to live my life without participating in chips. And it was really hard to think of that because I thought I got so much enjoyment out of eating them. And I actually got on a few food addict blogs and kind of discussion groups just to see what was going on in there. And what happened was I learned that when people became free of the addiction, they experienced elation and happiness and pride. And it wasn't suffering. It wasn't like, oh, poor me, I can't eat chips anymore. It was like, wow, I'm free. I'm free from this. And so I actually started abstaining from chips. And of course, the first few days was hard, and the first few weeks were harder than it is now. I might have been tempted if they were there. Tell myself stories. Oh, you could maybe just do it again and be okay now. And I actually failed a few times. I actually went back and found out that it doesn't work for me. I'm pretty stubborn, so I did the same thing when I gave up Diet Coke years ago. Found out that, I gave it up quite a few times. Well, so I'm on my probably third round of abstaining from chips, and I feel really good about it this time. I haven't had any. I don't care. I don't want them. I think for me that giving it up, and then going back a couple times just really cements that it's just not for me, and I feel better without them. And I realized that, sure, I could probably have some every now and then, but it just doesn't work for me. It makes me crave them. It makes me want them again. And then it just makes me unhappy, actually. So, I now go to Panera if I go there, and I get an apple as my side instead of chips, which is bonkers because I never had done that before. If chips show up on a side on a plate at a restaurant, I just don't eat them. I give them away to someone else, or I ask them not to put them on the plate. And believe me, it's wild to say that I do that, because that was not me before. Now, you all know that I love food. I want everyone to be super happy in their life and with what they eat and how they live. And this actually makes me happier. I hope you see how that works. And if you have more questions about it, you can contact me or comment below, and I can make more videos about it and tell you more about it if you're interested. But that's my experience, and I share that, just for those of you who might have an addiction to a food, to let you know it's not your fault. It's biochemistry. It's real, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just what is. And so that was my solution. Now, I'll do another video that tells you what to do if you don't have a chip addiction like me and you actually want to find some substitutes that might be better options for people who are better at moderating. Thank you so much for listening. Please give me a like. Let me know I'm not crazy. And if you know anyone that might be interested in this topic, please share. I'm trying to get the word out to people that there's a better way to live and that we can all be healthy and happy without suffering. Rebecca the dietitian signing off. Thank you so much for listening.